I'll be honest, the trailers of this movie didn't really sell me, but then when I found out the title of it was a pun, I mean, I love wordplay, so I was in. I'm John Hayeck, and welcome to my movie thoughts. Isle of Dogs, or I Love Dogs if you're going by the wordplay title. Anyway, this is a weird movie to describe the plot of because it kind of is a thing you have to go in and experience for yourself to actually understand what it's all about. But Isle of Dogs takes place about 20 years in the future. It might be in a separate reality, it might be in our reality. Basically, 20 years in the future, this Japanese island has decided to send all of the dogs from its inhabitants off to a separate island called Trash Island because some of the dogs have become infected with this flu type of thing that the inhabitants of the main island believe will be dangerous to them. So all the dogs in the society get sent off to Trash Island. And basically they live there in kind of their own society now. They speak English, or at least we understand the movie as English whenever they bark to one another. And then this one boy tries to find his dog on Trash Island, where all of the dogs are. He crash lands, the dogs start taking him on this adventure. Meanwhile, the boy is actually involved in this kind of like political kind of side story on the main island and everything. And now we have a Wes Anderson movie that's actually a ton of fun. I'll be honest with you guys, I really enjoyed all of the characters in this movie. All the dogs actually had these kind of fleshed out personalities. And there's 5 dogs that are kind of the main ones. The main one, Chief, who's voiced, I believe, by Bryan Cranston. You get a bit more of a story from him and everything, but the other 4, you really get a sense of their personality. They're all super funny supporting characters. The main boy in the story as well, you feel like he might be kind of like a one-dimensional throwaway kid, but by the end you realize, yeah, he's actually a pretty decent character in his entirety as well. I do think the movie suffers a little bit from having a few too many characters, like some of them you can just think, like, we didn't need that in there at all. Scarlett Johansson's dog is a prime example of that, and there was this one other character who, by the end you're like, alright, yeah, she kind of worked, but also I don't know if she really needed to be in here. So there were a few like overabundances of characters at points, but for the most part, the ones that were in the centerfold of the movie worked really well, including the villain, including some of the other dogs that come in towards the end of the movie. I really enjoyed the main characters for the most part. The plot of this movie I thought was really well done, I'll be honest with you guys. Again, there's this kind of like political side story where you're like, alright, are they going to overthrow the government? Like, what's going to happen? And again, when you get to the end of the movie, you kind of follow it beat by beat by beat through the beginning of the movie to the middle of the movie, and there's humor that kind of guides you along the way. But then when you start to question, is it actually going to pay off at the end? You get to the point where it does pay off, and you really are rewarded for following that story along the entire way. The adventure story where the boy is going to find his old dog with the guidance of these dogs was also super cool. I really liked seeing his quest. It felt a lot like Kubo and the Two Strings, only it felt very different from Kubo and the Two Strings as well, because in this case, it isn't like, you aren't focused on his character per se, but you're focused on his relationship with Chief, and I really love seeing their relationship blossom. This movie has a really great score as well. Alexander Desplat coordinates a bunch of drumming that really builds these powerful moments, but also builds these really funny moments, and the movie has great humor. Wes Anderson is a guy that absolutely knows how to direct his humor, and a lot of times it's just simple stuff, or it's kind of meta stuff that most audiences wouldn't usually pick up on, but for an indie film fan like myself, and most of the indie film fans that were in the audience seeing this thing, they just picked up on it, they loved it, they laughed. The voice acting is great in the movie, the storyline is really great. Some of the characters aren't used to their fullest potential, but the characters that are used to their fullest potential are used to their fullest potential. Isle of Dogs is one of those movies that I'm probably going to remember for at least a few more months in 2017, if it doesn't make my top 10 of the year list. It's definitely going to be one of those movies that I remember, and I think it's a movie you guys should absolutely go out and see if you're a fan of Wes Anderson, if you're a fan of dogs, if you're a fan of stop motion animation. The animation style I didn't think was going to work for me, but it wound up actually working for me pretty well. There were some points you can tell it's a little bit disjointed, but again, for the most part, Isle of Dogs is a really, really solid film, and I'm going to give it an A-. Be sure to let me know all of your guys' thoughts on Isle of Dogs in the comment section down below. You guys can go over to mymoviethoughts.com, follow me on Twitter at John Hayeck, or subscribe to the YouTube channel for tons more posts from me. Links to all 3 of those are in the description down below. You guys can also like this video, comment on it, share on some friends. I am John Hayeck, so thank you guys so much for watching.